So Life Lessons TV, look, it's going to be sort of, I think, a little bit edgy. I think it's going to be a little bit off the cuff. I'm letting you know now that once I get excited about a topic, I might swear a little bit. I might let a couple of curses go. So it's one of those things where I think I just want things to be kind of real. Hey everyone, welcome to Life Lessons TV, episode 3, Q&A. Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Life Lessons TV Q&A. So today we're going to run through some questions. I put a shout out on Facebook and just ask people to send out some questions. Look, if you're not a fan, actually I should say, if you're not a fan of my fan page on Facebook, look me up, Adrian D'Amico, and become a fan of the page. Like and share some of the content. And there's also feel-good quotes on there. There's some stuff that I'm doing in terms of training and heaps of feel-good stuff. I like to make sure that everyone gets a positive message every day. So anyway, I'm going to shoot through some questions and I guess answer them in the best way that I can. So this is just going to be a personal take on my business life, I guess, and my personal life. So first question is from Terry Ann. So Terry Ann says that she personally struggles with time management and prioritizing, especially in small business. I get that. Look, we're forced to put things in order, she says. What would be great is having a program or a plan to help with being organized and give us more momentum. All right, so thanks Terry for your question. Look, I've got to admit, organizational skills, as far as I'm concerned, is something that is definitely not a forte of mine. But I can give you some strategies that I've learned, and this comes straight out of the textbook from Brendon Burchard. So I went and spent 3 or 4 days with Brendon Burchard about 12 months ago, and what I learned from him was his one-day planner. So he basically puts things into categories and kind of says, well, what are my top 3 goals? So one of the things I can definitely tell you as an entrepreneur is that we mostly set way too many goals, meaning that we've got a goal for health, we've got a goal for wealth, we've got a goal for business, we've got probably multiple goals in all of those areas. And what ends up happening is that we read all these goal setting workshops, books, and we write them all down, we put them into our diaries, on our vision boards and all that kind of stuff, which is fantastic. Problem is, you get to the end of the year and you look at all the goals that you've written down or that you wanted to achieve. Problem is, you get to the end of the year, you've hardly achieved any of them, or you've started 10 of them or 20 of them and they're all a quarter done, half done. They're not really finished. And the problem with that is that we feel dejected, I guess, as entrepreneurs, like we fucked up the year. Look, we've gone through 12 months and we've only really ticked off one goal or maybe even half of one goal, and we kind of feel like we've just been busy being busy. So the one-day planner basically says this: pick 3 goals. Don't pick 20, pick 3. So if it's personal, if it's wealth, if it's in business, pick those 3 goals. The next thing is that you want to do is you want to go and say, who do I need to reach out to make this happen? What are the things that you need to do? Who do I need to reach out to? And who am I waiting on? So obviously you can set your tasks that you want to, this is what I need to make this happen. Then you might say, I need to call on someone to make this happen. So I need to make sure that, I get my design guy. I need to get someone who's an accountant. I need to, organize a letterbox drop or a flyer or something like that. Now, who am I reaching out to? Who am I waiting on? So every day it's kind of like, who am I waiting on to make this happen? And that structure right there is something that puts everything into context as to what you're doing. The last part of it is the things that you must do today. So in my life, even if I just tick off one of those goals or 2 of those things that I have to do today, it's at least a step in the right direction. It's at least some forward momentum that's going to help me achieve my goals. And I can tell you in particularly in the last 8 or 9 months or so, that one-day planner has helped me tremendously in my business because it just gives me a snapshot. I use it with my clients. I make sure that, I also encourage them to do the same things because we're busy being busy. And I'm just talking about business and things like that. We've got to think about our personal lives. We've got children. We're still got to be, a great boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, mother, father, all those sorts of things. So you know what? It's easy to get busy being busy throughout your life, but that's the best strategy that I can help you with there. Okay, so next question. How are we going, George? All right, next question is from Jackie. All right, so Jackie's got a few questions. Things on procrastination, goal setting, setting intentions. Okay, so what about, well, she's got finding leads for your business. So, all right, Jackie, so if we're going to talk about finding leads for your business, look, I guess at the end of the day, we need to figure out, without knowing what type of business that you're in, it's one of those things where I think in terms of lead generation, I particularly focus on providing value. Like I use the Gary Vaynerchuk method, which is jab, 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 right hook. So jab, 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 right hook is a metaphor for give, 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 and then ask for the business. So whatever you're doing in your community, your business life, whether it's business to business, business to customer, or anything like that, try and be providing value with your customers. So a strategy that I use online in terms of my social media marketing is I try to offer some value, at least 3 or 4 key points of value that I can provide to my customers. So this is done by way of a lead capture page, which I can get into in a couple of later videos. But that might be just getting an email and a name and email, which I can then have permission to communicate to them. So one of the things that I do is I provide a video or a downloadable ebook or something like that I can offer them some value, and therefore they get something in return of giving me their name and email. Then I can follow that up with some information. I can follow it up with a how-to, something that provides information into their life and provides value to to what they're doing. So if you take this particular example of this video, it's a complete jab. It's a huge jab because I'm answering questions and I'm providing value to the listeners. I'm providing value to my subscribers and to the people that follow me on Facebook. So this to me is a complete jab. Where maybe down the track I can have an opportunity to present some like a workshop that I do or some coaching or anything like that, and that's really the key fundamentals I think to any sort of lead generation. So whether it be on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, whether it be one-to-one, giving talks as I do, I think going one-to-many, giving talks into small groups or organizations, I think it's a key strategy to getting leads into your business. So one of the things, going back to the Brendon Burchard training, so it's becoming the authority, the leading expert in your field. So whatever that is for you, become the leading expert in that. Give some knowledge, learn more about it, and then provide that information to your customers so they too can know what you know and benefit them going forward in their life. Okay. Let's go to one more question. All right, Patrick. Patrick's asking about how do you manage work-life balance, working smarter, not harder? All right, so that's a pretty awesome question, Patrick. I think for me, work-life balance, I've got three children, okay? So it's one of the things where I try to have times where I can, spend time with them. So, we do soccer training, we play soccer on the weekends and things like that. and then I manage my work around the times that I've got available. I like to go to the gym, for example, so I think having some one-on-one time with yourself to, to provide some nourishment, to provide some free time, to have, to get your mind body connected. So for me, like lifting weights in the gym is kind of like meditation. So when I'm thinking about work-life balance, I personally think that it's a case of whatever those things are for you. If you're out of balance within your life, and you've got some sort of interest in terms of health and fitness, well then try and schedule that in. And then if you've got family or whatever, then make time for that as well. Personally, what I did is I really kind of worked right around my family and around my work commitments. When I owned a business and I had employees and I had that typical 9 to 5 and I wanted to start something on the side, I got to tell you, like my life was kind of really way out of balance. I would come home from work, I'd do the family dinner and things like that. I'd spend some time with my wife, like I could say it's quality time, but we might watch our TV show or something like that. But then when everyone went to sleep, I would actually go to the gym. I still do that now. When the kids go to bed, that's when I go to the gym. It could be 9 or 9:30 at night. And then when I got home, that's when I would start to hustle. That's when I would start writing ebooks, creating landing pages, during the breaks at work or straight after work when work finished and everyone left the office, I get out the video camera and I make time for it. Even doing this podcast and Life Lessons TV is a way of working around family. I've still got to drop off the kids at school and pick them up. I've still got to make time to reach out to my fans and to my community that I want to serve and create this type of video. So in terms of creating that work-life balance for you, I would say that you really need to determine what that actually means, because I think it can be bent in so many ways, in a sense that when you're starting out, you really need to hustle. You really need to be putting in a lot of hours and dedicating a lot of time to your trade, to perfecting your art, to making sure that you're going to be providing yourself the opportunity, the leads, I guess the opportunities that something's going to evolve from that in the future. So if that means working after hours, if it means we're working to 2, 3 in the morning for a period of time, and I'm not talking 1 or 2 months, I'm talking like 1 or 2 years, 3, 4, 5 years. It could take that long for you to get in position to capitalize on that. In my own life, I really hustled hard as for 10 years, working around my family, my kids when they were younger, and then starting soccer, picking up and dropping off from school, doing the family dues, spending some one-on-one time with my wife and all those things. And I've got to tell you, I really needed to pinch from all areas. I sacrificed. I guess the spanner in the works here is that really sometimes life does get way out of balance. Now, if you're in a position where you're like myself, you've got kids and things like that, you kind of need to make time and then work around everything else. It's hard, especially when if you're that sidepreneur that's starting something and you're still working full time. That's the position that I was in. I still did my 40, 50, 60 hours a week. Then I started creating something on the side, which allowed me to be in the position that I am today, which is working full-time as a consultant, creating ebooks and programs and running events and things like that. So for me, that's taken 10 years to achieve that. That's actually taken quite a long time. And I think a lot of people, if I take a leaf out of Gary Vaynerchuk's book, they don't realize that you really have to hustle your face off for a long time before you get into a position where you can do that. Okay guys, that's a wrap for Life Lessons TV. Thanks so much for tuning in. if you've got any questions, please submit them down below, send them through and comment in the comments box and let me know, and I'll be picking some information, some questions that I can answer in future videos. As always, please share this message. I want to get it out to as many people as possible. I hope it served you. And look, I'm going to leave you with a quote today. I was struggling in the previous episode to come up with maybe an ending or something like that to this podcast and to this show, but I'm going to leave you with a quote. And that quote is that the time is now and you are here. Okay, to me that means you need to make every opportunity count, and if not now, when? You know, there's another quote. If it's not now, when? The time is now and you are here. So make shit happen, go out there and hustle hard, and I'm looking forward to seeing you on the next episode. See you now.